In the early years, a large area of the point was a burial ground. So, in this latest book, you'll get to read all about the spirits that roamed the community in the early hours of the morning. Boosted by the waterfront, the point soon became the industrial capital of Antigua, attracting artisans, fisherfolk, stevedores, and businessmen. Despite its ghetto label, the point has produced the greatest musicians, calypsonians, steel bands, and other cultural artists. The Point Villa community is known for its very talented sportsmen and women in every sphere of sports. You'll read all about 6 generations of the Winter family, from John Winter, manager of the Barbuda slaves from 1836, to Jack Winter, Chalmers Winter, and Tian Winter, our cultural ambassador. See how planting sucker followed the root as you read about 4 generations of the Prince Mason family, including the world-renowned Panay Masons. Get to know caring families and philanthropies, as well as educators, politicians, activists, doctors, and much, much more. Get your copy today of The People's Point by the renowned storyteller and author, Joy Lawrence.
Welcome back, everybody, to the show this morning. Now, when we're talking about digging deep and finding information, we're going to speak to Joy Lawrence. Yesterday was the International Day of Happiness. Well, we've got Joy in the building this morning. She's here to launch her new book, The People's Point, an Antiguan waterfront community with reference to Villa. Good morning to our Joy.
Good morning, Patrice.
How are you?
I missed you. I'm so
I
glad
have not seen you in so long.
Well, I'm here.
You're not aging, Joy. You're so
Oh,
stunning.
please, you're too kind.
You're stunning this morning, Joy. You're
too
very
kind.
stunning. But Joy, talk to me about this book. This is 15 chapters of some solid information.
It took me some years to do it.
Wow.
And a lot of interviews and digging in the archives, you know.
Yes. Tell me the thought process behind putting this book together.
Okay, I usually write about estates that come out of the villages that come out of the estates. But somebody asked me to write about Point because it wasn't a sugar estate.
Right.
I hesitated, but I went in and I did it, and I'm so glad I did. Oh, gosh, it's so much I learned.
Yes.
So much.
Now, I saw King Tian Winter amongst the images that were rolling just now. How did Tian tie into this? Because his Point and Villa attachment?
Yes. Now, I wrote a book about Barbuda. And I came across this guy from Bristol when he came to Antigua at age 16. He was manager of the Barbuda slaves, the enslaved people, from 1827 to 1836. Then he came to Antigua and he had a fleet of ships. And he had a wharf. And he used to live 37 North Street. You know, 48 North Street is 46.
46.
46 North Street is on one side. Then he had the even number, the odd numbers on the other side. I tried to find it, but I couldn't. But he used to live there.
Okay.
And he had a fleet of ships that used to transport sugar to Bristol and Liverpool, and then bring back stuff and ballast. So he brought stones and so on, bricks that helped to build the church, the big church. Yes, and he had a lot of children, well, not a lot, maybe 6 or 7 children. And he had some, and then he had Jack Winter, who is Tian Winter's great-grandfather, and then he had Chalmers Winter, who is Tian Winter's grandfather. When I say he, not John, his descendants.
Yes.
And then you had Glendon, who is the father of Tian. And then you have Tian, our ambassador.
Wow.
So it's 6 generations.
That you found this information?
I'm missing you. 6 generations.
Wow.
Yes, right there.
Joy, how do you find this information?
Let me tell you, I had some of the information, but this girl from, well, I forget names, but her name is Anna Winter Foot. She is a treasure trove of information about the Winter family, because her father, Lord, I forget his name. he did some research along with some other people and gave them to her. So she has a lot of information.
Okay.
Kudos to her.
Right.
I just love that girl.
Okay, so you thought about this. Someone told you, Joy, write about Point and Villa. And you went, you did your research. So how many years did it take for you to create this?
5 minimum.
What?
But not straight. You know, you
Take a break, come back.
And there was COVID.
Yeah, oh gosh.
So,
the dreadful.
oh gosh. You couldn't even talk to people during those 2 years.
I know.
You know?
See, in that time, you were able to create and find all this information, and now you have this.
But another interesting story in the book, too. I forget to tell you, he was buried, John Winter was buried here in Antigua, you know. His tomb is right there. You go into the burial ground and turn right, and a few yards down, you see that black tombstone. Here lies the body of John Winter of Bristol, merchant of Antigua, blah, blah, blah. Big time history, man. Wow. Another thing that's fascinating in that book, everything in that book is fascinating, and I'm saying that myself. It's the Hannah Mason family.
Yes.
Did you know that some of the family members came from Point? Wapping
From
Laners.
Point?
You've heard of Roland Prince?
Yes, of course.
Is their great uncle? So you think these people just jump up and know how to play?
No, I knew there was a serious attachment to Antigua and Barbuda,
Plantain sucker. Follow
the route. Yes.
Okay. So,
Wow.
Arnold Mason, come from east of the church, big church, was it Church Lane? His wife, Prince, is from St. John Street, Enid Prince, St. John Street and Wapping Lane. And their parents brought them here. They were musicians as well.
Wow.
Their parents. And they, you know, Roland Prince and all the princes.
The entire family,
right.
yes.
And they play they play most of the
Instruments.
piano. And all the Hannah Masons play the piano as well.
Oh, boy. Now, talk to us about where we can get our copy of this
But
book.
couldn't I just read a little Jumbi story for Ursula?
I can't stand Ursula this morning.
What you run gone for? Where you run
And
gone
then that
for?
Jumbi story might actually be for Steve too as well. Because Jumbi, he likes these stories.
Okay, this
go
one.
ahead.
It's plenty, but just gonna read one. But, you know, St. John's Street was a place where Jumbi threw stones at passers by. But I'm going to read one. Donna Shaw of Low North Street admits that she has never seen a Jumbi, but had an encounter with them in 1935 when she was 11. Donna and her cousin Gwen Benjamin regularly spent nights at the home of their blind aunt, Miss Frederick, who lived at Church Lane. Her sisters Ruby, Carolita, and Frida stayed with their mother Vera Knight on Low North Street. Donna and Gwen usually left early to fetch water for their mother to do household chores and get children ready for school. Not realizing the time, the girls rose way too early one morning and headed home at 3 a.m. moonlight night. They collected galvanized lard buckets and headed to the standpipe on Nelson Alley. Having filled their buckets, they were preparing their cutters to support the load when passing fishermen asked them, "Why are you little gal do out here so early?" Before they could respond, they heard, "Woo! Woo! Woo!" Where's Ursula? Hold on. A shrill, eerie sound coming from Upper Newgate Street. The girls dropped everything and ran for their lives with the ghost at their heels. As they approached the front door, the girls fell down, one on top of the other. One of the fishermen caught up with them, helped them up on their feet, and then proceeded to chide their mother, who had heard the commotion and rushed to the door. "Vera, you mean for say that you send that liquor picking girl out so early in the morning and you know pint have sick in a Halberton hospital pan dying? Me sure one of them just dead and come to a point for tell the family that them dead. Are we a fisherman? Are we used to Jumbi? But Jumbi not used to liquor picking a walk street at 2 and 3 in the morning. That a Jumbi walking hours." Vera took the warning to heart.
Aye, aye, aye.
Story end like men. Enough ton of information
In this book. It's a thick book.
And I wanted the first chapter. Let me just say how Point was named. First chapter is devoted to the forts. Fort James defended St. John's,
yes.
Fort Barrington, and Goat Hill.
Yes.
What do you call it? That little hill down there, Rat Island. Yes. But you know how Point was named? Before Point became a fort in 1685, when King James II ascended the throne, it was called St. John's Point. The 25-acre piece of land was called St. John's Point. And it's from that point
was
got
named.
Yes,
It's
sir.
named. All right. Where can we
also-
get copies of this book, Joy?
Oh, best of books have them.
Okay. All right. Fair enough. Any particular age group that you had in mind when you were creating this book?
Not really. It's everybody.
Okay.
Everybody.
All right. Fair enough. You have this image here. It's framed. It's
Yes.
pretty. Tell me about this.
This one, you know, Point, it's upside down because you know, can't see.
No, it's up. It's right on the right side.
Okay, Point was a burial ground.
Right.
And, well, here, this is Point right here. A burial ground was right there. People used to live in there. And on the perimeters, you had the plantation owners living there. And you had Mariners Lane. It's almost the whole Point. This is St. John, the whole of St. John's Point. Almost the whole map is the same. The only thing that's changed, Wilkinson Street is now Wilkinson Cross.
Okay.
And Radcliffe Street was Radcliffe, and it's now Redcliffe Street.
Oh.
Yes.
Okay.
And Wapping Street here is now Lower Newgate Street. And
Okay.
what is fascinating as well, all the names you see here are names of people in Point right now, like Walling, Watkins, Williams, Bridges, Asker.
All those families are in Point
Philip.
right now.
Fascinating. And you get some of this in the book.
Wow. All right. So you got to go and grab your copy of the book at Best of Books. Joy has brought so much information about the Point and Villa community to life in this book. We're going to take a very, very, very quick commercial break, and we'll be right back. Thank you, Joy.
Thank you.
All right.